For you. Yep.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting our community arts. And in 2017, as a Venetian plaster contractor, I was commissioned to my largest commercial project at Olympic College in the interior space, doing a marble plaster finish. And at that point, I lived on the east side. I commuted over here. I lived over here, and I grew to love the people over here, as well as the grit. And once I put my trowel down and all the mud was done, I knew that I would be back, but I didn't know in what way. And here we are, all gathered together, looking over the landscape and seeing some of the just a small fraction of the students that I've impacted. And it really brings such joy to my heart that the community can recognize these efforts that not only I've done, but also artists and mentors like Juan Rodriguez, and Hive moms like Jessica Falk, and Emery and Luna, who were my original 2 students that I showed art with outside the classroom. I just thank everyone for being here and for lifting everyone up. So thank you.
I made your award a little smaller, but that's partly because I knew that you are not doing this alone. So, we have a few samples. There's a heart for every one of your Hive kiddos.
Oh my gosh.
I can make more.
We have core Hive.
But, yes, so there are more in the bag as well. So each of your Hive kiddos gets a little heart as well to commemorate this.
Wow.
Thank you so much for believing in this program, everyone. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Betsy.
Helping run the studio space, helping with farmers markets, always on time to set up and take down, and always lending an extra hand. Also, Avery, who joined a little bit later, but made up for lost time doing internships at Collective Visions Gallery and being extremely positive and making sure everyone was okay. Lastly, being Mars, who is, all 3 of these are currently running the studio.
Right now, by the way, on Callow.
Which says enough about their dedication that even during all this, while Ms. Gamble is here, making sure everything's going smoothly. Mars is extremely positive, kind-hearted, and bubbly. There is never a dull moment. The Hive was originally just a after-school club at Bremerton High School. And when Ms. Gamble decided to take her step away from the school district and leaving the boundaries and restrictions that brought, we went with her. She wasn't getting rid of us that easy. We started taking classes run by Ms. Gamble in the basement of Collective Visions Art. We ended up setting up a few shows there for First Friday, which gave us the confidence to take the next step, and the 3 of us set up a art show at Uptown Barbershop of April of 2024. Since that happened, we did never take a break. We started doing art markets every month. We started reaching out to local businesses, and as of this year, we were doing farmers markets. But most of all, I think one of the most exciting things we did was the Ways Goose Festival. We spent months pouring heart and soul into the project and using it as a really wonderful community building experience, even though our group experienced a tragedy. Emery here was absolutely wonderful at being the lead designer for it, and I think it was absolutely lovely for our goal of giving the youth and students a space to be in the spotlight and learn how to actually handle the arts. Not just as some after-school club to be remembered during high school reunions, but as a place to take the first step into our career and livelihoods.
Thank you, Luna.
So, hello, I'm really excited to
to be here, but I'm also a little nervous, so I apologize for that. So I grew up here in Bremerton, and me and my family would always go downtown, and we'd go to the Blackberry Festival and all the First Fridays, and I think the Ways Goose was definitely my favorite to visit, seeing the big steamroller and all the cool drawings that people did. So when I joined the Hive and I found out that we were going to do the Ways Goose, I was so hyped for that. I was so excited that we could actually be a part of it, even if, like, I was just so happy. So my role was the main design. I knew from the beginning that I didn't want to do it all by myself, because that's a lot of pressure to do a whole design for this big group. So throughout the process of me drawing it together, I got input from the rest of the Hive and from Juan, who has done Ways Goose before, and he had a bunch of experience with doing his own line of cuts. So I was really happy with what our drawing became, because it wasn't just me, but it was the rest of our Hive, and it was there's little hexagons in our design, and each one was filled with a drawing by one of our group members. But I was just like, whatever part I was given, I was so excited to be a part of the festival and like just be with all these other artists that were doing all this amazing work. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
Thanks, you too. Good evening, Hive. First, I want to thank you for being here tonight. Family, friends, community members, artists, and supporters. This gathering is more than just an art show. It is a moment of connection, a celebration, and a reminder of why art matters, not just in galleries or classrooms, but in lives, in communities, and in futures. When I departed the high school classroom, I carried with me a sense of destiny. I loved teaching. I loved the exchange of energy, the questions, the courageous risks, and above all, the creativity that unfolds when students are given agency and room to explore and trust their own voices. And yet, as my time there ended, I realized that for many of my students, that exploration was not over. They weren't ready to stop making art, and honestly, I wasn't ready to stop guiding and learning from them. We were a hive. It started simply with a few of them asking, "Can we keep working with you?" That question planted the seed of what became my art studio and eventually these weekly youth art sessions. What began as a small gathering quickly grew into a space of resilience, of dedication, and community. Week after week, young artists come, not only to learn new techniques from other seasoned professional artists in the community, but to build confidence, to support one another, and to take the risk of showing their art to the world. We watch each other wrestle with self-doubt, experiment with bold ideas, and transform mistakes into something beautiful, co-creating the script as we fly by. The Hive students bring their whole selves into their work, whether through plaster, through printmaking, ceramics, watercolor, and so much more. Art making is more than just a trade, a skill, or a craft. It's a language. It's a way to speak about identity, hope, struggle, and possibility. What inspires me most is their dedication. These young adults have been willing to put in the hours in the quiet, sometimes frustrating hours of creation, to reach those moments of clarity, joy, and expression. Showing up in soaked clothes in the winter days sometimes, artwork in hand and a heart for belonging. They've carried their work into hospitals, planetariums, community projects like Ways Goose Kitsap, Bremerton Community Market, along with multitudes of other shows and exhibitions in their portfolio of creative leadership work. Not only selling pieces, but sharing stories, building bridges with strangers and making the hidden seen. And along the way, they've cared for one another. They've showed up for each other's in wins and setbacks, and they've reminded me that art is not just an individual act, but a communal one. That when one voice rises, it pulls others up with it. I want to pause here and acknowledge the resilience that these young artists have shown. Resilience is not just surviving hardship, It's choosing to keep creating in the face of it. It's choosing to see possibility where others might see limitation. That strength, their strength, has built the foundation of this ongoing project. And to the community, thank you. You've been a part of this journey by attending shows, buying work, offering encouragement, and giving these artists the gift of being seen. Art does not thrive in isolation. It thrives when it is received, when it sparks conversation, and when it connects. Your presence and support have made this endeavor possible. And to my students, my fellow artists now, you've taught me as much as I have taught you. You've reminded me that teaching is not just a one-way act, it is a collaboration. I'm so proud of the art that you've made, and I'm even more proud of the people that you're becoming. As you step further into the greater art world, know that you carry with you not just talent, but vision, resilience, and community. And this is not the end of the story. It is a chapter and an unfolding one. The studio work continues, the weekly sessions at the Callow shop continue. The work continues, and more importantly, the relationships continue. Because what we built together is not just a program, it's a living, breathing space where art and people grow together. So tonight, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate the courage of these young artists. Let's celebrate the power of community. And let's celebrate the ongoing story we are all a part of. Thank you for believing in this work. Thank you for showing up again and again. And thank you for being a part of our Hive as we carry this story bravely forward.
Woo! My God, that's my baby. Oh, she's just awesome. Oh my gosh.
All right, everybody.